Hello, lovely people. It's another exciting episode of The Girl Who Can. When I say The Girl Who Can, you know the response. The time is now. I'm happy to have you here once again. On this episode, we are talking about turning your degree into a career. I have with me two lovely ladies. One who has been able to turn her degree into a career, and one who is still in school, trying to figure out what to do with it. And so today we're going to have questions and answers, and I'm always excited to be your host. My name is Joyce Ochiwadan-Suyako. Stay tuned. The Girl Who Can. The time is now. Hello, Verity and Rachael. How are you doing? So when I say the girl who can, you say time is now. The girl who can.
The time is now.
I'm feeling the energy from Verity. Rachael, what's happening? The girl who can.
The time is now.
I like that. That's what's up. Give me a... Okay, guys. Welcome to The Girl Who Can Studios, right? We are shooting this episode at Jandu's, and Studio World is my production team. So, guys, Verity.
Hi.
Kobo is shining.
Oh, yes.
I like that. You're representing the school well.
Very well.
So, Verity.
Hi.
The last time I heard someone said, oh, Verity has a spa. I'm like, okay, tell me, from Kobo Girls. And then suddenly you own your own spa. Tell me, physiotherapy, what is happening? What have you been up to? And you look like $1 million. So clearly you're cashing out.
I pray that the money that people see of me will actually be reflecting my bank accounts. But anyway.
Yeah.
So after Kubo Girls, in fact, whilst in Kubo Girls, we had to select. I went for 4 years.
Yes, same here.
Our programs while in school. Mm-hmm. And one of the things my parents wanted me to do was medicine. Mm-hmm. But
you were not ready for that. Okay.
It was not for me. Mm-hmm. But personally, I didn't think that medicine was for me. But along the line, whilst in SS, there's something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to open a spa.
Okay.
And so I was looking for programs I could do in the university mm-hmm. that would help me or lead me towards that line.
Yeah.
I remember documenting, I think I even wrote my diary.
Okay, let me see it. You actually documented, you wanted, this diary looks like 65-year-old, so I'm sure it's going to, okay, so let me see. Wow, this is like visualizing, you visualized.
Yes. I'm someone who
Can I read, if you don't mind? No? So where is it?
Over here.
My business ventures, and this was on. Okay, so I'm just going to read the one with the Sparkle Spa and Beauty Parlor. Yeah. Oh, dreams come true. Guys, I don't want to zoom in, but it's here. And this is a diary that I think she has had for a while. Wow. So you wrote this down in your diary?
Yes. It's something I'd always wanted to do. And so I started looking for programs I could do that would help me actualize my dream of opening a spa. And in my research, I came across physiotherapy. At the time, I did not really know the full scope of physiotherapy. Mm-hmm. I did not know what exactly physiotherapy entailed, but I did know about the massage aspect, which I'm sure all of you know about.
Yeah.
But physiotherapy is actually way more than that. But let me go into that today.
Okay.
And so I started, reading around it, and I spoke to my parents about it. At the time, my mother had also gone through physiotherapy for her back.
Okay.
And my grandmother had gone to physiotherapy for her knees.
Okay.
She had arthritis. So both of them had a fair idea of physiotherapy. And so my mom was like, oh, yeah, it's a good program. We should get into it.
Okay.
So that's how come I found myself in physiotherapy.
Okay.
Was of my dream to open a spa.
So you were fortunate. Life just presented you what you wanted, huh? Is that it?
When I say life just... no, I think I actually went for it.
You went for it. So run me through a young girl sitting home. Mm-hmm. The person wants to be a physiotherapist, probably even a journalist, whatever it is. And I saw you writing this, or I've seen it in your diary, which means that all your life, and I've always known Verity from school, she's been very ambitious. So an ambition-driven, written in a diary, you're visualizing it. Run me through the journey to becoming Verity and owning a spa.
Okay, so let me take a trip back to Kubo Girls. Mm-hmm. The first Monday when Form 1s were in school, our headmaster of academic, Reverend Rachael.
Okay, yeah, I do remember Reverend Rachael.
There were two things he said to us, which I remember to this day. Mm-hmm. He said that if there's anything that you want to do, look at your passion and your ability.
Wow.
So I started thinking, what are the things I like to do? What are the things I'm passionate about? What are the things that gave me energy.
Yeah, yeah.
And so if I don't know if you saw the other things.
I saw the other things I didn't want to mention, but we are waiting for it.
Other things I wrote as well, because there are things that I seemed passionate about. Not like I seemed, but I was actually very passionate about.
Yeah.
And there were things that I felt like, okay, this is something I want to do. So that's the first part.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
You must have your passion. Now, in addition to the passion, you need to look for the ability. So in looking for the ability to do it was when I went to study physiotherapy, because I knew that, okay, physiotherapy was one of the ways
Channels, exactly.
to where I wanted to do. I don't think you know this, but after my physiotherapy program, I went on to do communication.
Okay.
Because I knew that, okay, having a business, I needed to be able to put it out there. So I did my, I finally specialized in PR, health communication, and advertising.
So Rachel, I'm just curious, right? Robotics team, passion and ability. How did that influence your ability to perform well with the robotics team?
Okay, I've always been passionate about making impact in my life, like wherever I find myself.
Okay.
To make impact.
Okay.
So before I went to school, I heard about robotics and Methodist girls. So when I got to Methodist girls, I had always wanted to know what the robotics is about and all that. So we were introduced to robotics, and with the creativity in it, building colorful robots and all that, and programming the robots to perform tasks, like it drive my interest and heart.
So how many hours of investment do you put in your learning?
I was able to strike a balance between my robotics and my academics. So I was always
we're able to combine and improve. And
I was also always making sure that like one is not
So the reason why I'm asking this is just that you know, I congratulations. I don't know if I've said that, but good job, because we don't have a lot of women in STEM, and that's why we keep advocating for that. Now the numbers are increasing, and I was just curious to know when I read about your story about physiotherapy. So I'm just right now trying to find out from you, what is the plan? You know, robotics, now you are trying to do physiotherapy, and I don't know if Verity could help us, you know, in answering that. So tell me, do you get confused sometimes of what you're doing?
Sometimes, at first, I was getting a little bit confused, but then I'm very passionate about health, even though I'm enthused about the STEM and robotics aspect. So I've always been thinking about it, and I envision a future where I can inculcate the robotics and AI into the physiotherapy.
Okay. Okay. Verity, can you help us here? Because you're having the whole robotics AI person here.
I think it's really brilliant, because a lot of physiotherapy is based on physics.
Okay.
So that as you have started learning the program, you know that you have done biomechanics. Yes, a lot of it is based on physics.
Okay.
The equipment we use, and so having knowledge in robotics, having knowledge in that aspect will actually feed into, let's say, manufacturing of such equipment for physiotherapy. For instance, some of the electrotherapy equipment that we use, the currents that we use, and all of that. I'm sorry to...
No. I like that. Of course, remember, my audience are diverse, so I would never limit. Yeah.
I think that she having knowledge and skills in that aspect can help with respect to the equipment for physiotherapy, equipment that physiotherapy use. Because like I said, majority, let me not say majority, but a lot of what we do is based on physics.
I'm just curious, you know, I started with the preamble of how young people are graduating from school, and then they are wondering, how am I able to use this degree to, you know, make a living? And you have people saying the degree doesn't matter. Of course, now we've come to terms with the fact that we can make a living out of whatever we do. SPA coming in, that process of starting your life, was it easy? Do you have that, like some golden spoon or, you know, some coin given to you to just start? And how did it happen? So run me through, because I'm really curious.
It wasn't exactly smooth, but I wouldn't say it was also too difficult, because I had support.
Okay.
I had support from my family. I had support from my friends. So even though it was tough, it was not too difficult.
Okay.
So in starting, we had a space. My mother had a space, which was a shop, which had been abandoned for a very long time. And she actually drew my attention to the fact that, you're looking for a space, but this space is here. You can use it. So I had to I had to renovate the space, had to break down some aspects, add on certain things because, with a spa, there are things that you need. And it was a regular shop, so we had to expand it, add on a few things. So that was the first step. And obviously, like I mentioned, I had support from my parents. And so in the initial stage, but a lot of people don't advise this, but at some point I did take a loan to help me with the initial renovation.
Of course.
Because I had just finished school.
Yeah, no, rightly so. And I think that's a conversation I want us to have, because sometimes you're like, people want to start out and then there's that fear. But did you ever have fear that I'm taking a loan? That means that you're very sure it should work.
Oh, yes.
Was there a time when you doubted this capability of yours?
No.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Wow.
GDN.
I like that. So then, guys, if you're watching, if you have that vision, go for it. Remember, Verity was able to write this in her diary, and she visualized it. I'm sure she has dreamt about it for the longest, and the dream came through. So please, don't give up. So taking the loan, you didn't have any fears that can I pay or not pay?
Oh, if push comes to shove.
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah.
I mean, once there's life, we can do our best to make sure that, and I have started working.
So then, okay.
So there was a way, an avenue for me to be able to pay back. It wasn't like I was just there and I was not doing anything.
Yeah.
In fact, they were not going to leave me.
Of course, if you're not doing it. So run me through receiving your first client, like outside the people you know. How was the feeling?
In fact, I think, so in the spa, my first client was also one of the people who helped me to fully set up.
Okay.
Because she kept telling me that, Verity, I want to come to you. I've heard that you're good. I want to come and see you. And I kept saying that, I don't have any space. I don't have anything, And she kept saying, no, even if it is your bedroom, I'll come.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, you know what? We have this space in my house that's, the abandoned shop that I was talking about. So you come. At the time, I just had a portable bed. Just that.
Wow.
And then
just a portable bed, guys. Okay.
Portable bed. And so she came. And I treated her. She felt so much. She said, Verity, you have magic hands.
Wow.
It's the grace of God.
Nice.
And she was like, no, you have to do this. You have to, you can, she's into interior.
Okay. So she
said, no, Verity, you can do this. You can change the space. You can transform the space. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
So when did it come through? When did that transformation come through?
It took me about a year. It actually happened during COVID.
Okay, great. Now, how many hours of investment do you put into, like, this business you're doing? And also, I want to learn from physiotherapy in school, learning, studying, because Rachel is a young girl, and Rachel I'm sure she's investing a lot of hours in learning. And already, I know you guys have met through a lecture. How many hours should Rachel invest in her skills to be able to, build herself up?
I cannot quantify. I cannot give an exact number of hours. But what I would say is that give it your all.
Give it your all. What do you mean by give it your all?
If you're a student and you're learning, give it your all. If you're working, whatever you're doing, give it your all. I can't say that in 24 hours in a day, use 20 hours or just give it your all. Even if it's maybe like even if it's 6 hours you get to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Give it
your all. Great. Rachel, ready for your questions now?
Yes. Okay, one question I want to ask is, you see physiotherapy comes with lots of challenges like physical demands, and emotional demands as well. So how do you deal with that?
Wow. So let me talk about the emotional demands, because I'm a very emotional person, and you get people coming to you with their problems, and then with the kind of person that I am, I end up carrying their problems as part of my problems. But with time, I learned to still feel empathy, but still be able to dissociate myself from the problem so as to help them better. So that's the emotional side. Otherwise you will go home thinking about people's, I mean, it's not bad to think about it, but thinking about it to the extent that it actually affects your mental health, it's not the best. There were times I had to talk to people who are ahead of me in the profession. So that's one thing I did. Anytime we had a physiotherapy event, I would always attend because I wanted to meet the people ahead of me. I wanted to to get people to mentor me. So I would always ask them questions. How do you do this? How do you, like, you're asking me, I also did say. So with the emotional aspects, the emotional challenge, let me put it in that regard, it's good to learn how to dissociate yourself so as to be able to give better service. Because sometimes when you are so emotionally invested, it's a little bit difficult to see clearly to be able to offer the support that you need to offer. Now, with regards to the physical challenge, I'm sure you're talking about the pain you have, because as a physiotherapist, I stand from morning till I close. I have pain in my calves, I have pain in my back. But hey, we are physiotherapists. We know the stretches to do. We know the exercises.
That's a lot. Morning to evening. I don't know.
Evening, but
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think I can survive. I thank God for the profession I've chosen.
that's let me say musculoskeletal disorder related to our work.
You heard the word. I'm not going to repeat it.
Yes.
Wow.
So, that's how I deal with the challenge.
Okay.
So when I come back from work, I'm always stretching. I always exercise. It helps me. And I also try to do things that calm me down. So I would play music. I would light the candle.
Okay.
I would drink
You do know how to have fun. Good. And how to treat yourself well.
Obviously.
It gives you that vibe as well. So, Rachel, any question aside physiotherapy that you want to ask Verity? Basically about life, career, degree, your uncertainties, your fears. She has all the answers.
Okay, before I entered into physiotherapy, there's one misconception that people do have about physiotherapy, that physiotherapy is massage. Physiotherapy.
Yeah, we actually have
Joyce called me about the interview when she sent me
the synopsis, yeah.
about turning a physiotherapy degree into a career, and in the career she meant the spa.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
It's like, no, I need to correct you right here.
So now I'm going to talk to all of you here. Physiotherapy is not massage. Despite the fact that I have a spa, it's because of an aspect of physiotherapy I learned in school, which is massage. Massage is just an aspect of physiotherapy. It is not the entirety of physiotherapy.
So, give the audience an example of what a physiotherapist can do for them, right? So somebody's at home, they are like, okay, if I'm going to see this go to a consultation service, I know what I'm asking for.
Okay, let me give you, let me say, a not so classic example. In children, okay, sometimes when a baby is born, when the baby has a big birth weight, and the baby is sort of forced out, there's something that we call shoulder dystocia, where it happens that the nerves in the arm, whichever arm that is pulled out, gets torn a little bit. So it's sort of like a paralysis. So physiotherapy would help to bring strength. Okay. So you see some people, and even in their adult life, they're walking like their hands like this. Sometimes not corrected or it's not treated. But with physiotherapy, you can actually help do exercises to strengthen the arm to be able to use the hand.
Wow.
That's a not so classic thing that people don't know, don't see until you come to the hospital. Now to the classic example that people think about, back pain. See back pain. Right. So if I have back pain and I come and see a physiotherapist, for instance, if you go to a spa, the spa will probably just do a massage for you. But if you come and see a physiotherapist, the physiotherapist will actually assess and find out what exactly is the cause of the massage. The cause of the back pain. There could be numerous factors or things that will cause the pain. And so physiotherapy will assess, give you exercises. That's the thing people don't like to hear.
The exercising.
Back pain, all the way is massage. Massage actually goes
beyond that.
Another example, someone has a stroke. Okay, with stroke, usually there's one side of the body that's paralyzed. There's no medicine that you take that will let that once. It's only physiotherapy, it's only exercise that will help gets that.
Wow.
So before I entered into physiotherapy, that was also the misconception I had. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I entered into physiotherapy, because I thought physiotherapy was massage. But entering into the program, studying the program, I realized that it is so much more than that.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you've been able to give us this clarity. And thank you so much, girls. So your social media handle for your spa and all that, so people can pass through. And then Rachel, you can also give us a shout out. Give a shout out to anybody you want to give a shout out to. But before we come to their social media handles, remember we are shooting this video at Jandu's place. You can also reach out to the Girl Who Can team on 0243 664094. If you have any guests you want them to be on the show, you know, anyone you think would have a very good story to tell. And then also if you want to sponsor us, the Girl Who Can, the time is now. So over to you, V. And
so you can find us on Instagram at vea.s_spa, pronounced as V Spa, and book an appointment with us and have the best massage of your life.
And what is your advice to young girls watching who are thinking that this degree I'm having, I don't know what I'm going to do with it? What is that final word you would want to tell them?
What I'd say is that look at your passion and then look at your ability to turn it into a career.
Great. Rachel, what are your last words? Anything you want to say before we end the session?
Okay, my advice to students is that we should embrace a growth mindset. We should be
A what mindset?
growth mindset.
Growth mindset. Great.
We should be open to learning and we should be open to
Learning and new opportunities. Guys, the girl who can.
The time is now.
You got it. The girl who can.
The time is now.
Great, guys. Also remember, like all of them have said, passion and ability, a growth mindset. And if you have all these and you keep pursuing your goal and not giving up, remember that you need to write them down. You need to visualize and accept the fact that sometimes there'll be hurdles that will come your way, but go for it. Take a risk. What's the worst that can happen? Like in VS words, go for it and go for gold. The girl who can. The time is now. It's a wrap.